A few updates ago in Warframe, the Duviri paradox was introduced. This is the name of the quest in which upon completion, you unlock the Duviri. The Duviri has 3 game modes: the Duviri experience, the lone story, and the circuit. As I get into this video, I will explain each of these modes and what they offer you, along with other added information that can help you out as you complete these modes. Now first, how do you unlock the Duviri? As I briefly mentioned, you get the Duviri by completing the quest Duviri Paradox. To get this quest, you have to complete the junction for Uranus on Saturn. You then can activate the quest in the quest area in your orbiter or navigation. You will need other quests to be completed first. If you don't know or have a drifter, then you cannot complete this quest. There isn't much you need from a frame, as most of this is done by your drifter in the Duviri. This is all you had to do in order to unlock the Duviri. When you're completing the quest, you'll notice you have your drifter's sidearm. It's technically not his, but it is similar. You'll also have a melee weapon called the Sun and Moon. This is from Teshin. Teshin, if you don't know, is a very cool and important character in Warframe's story. You have met him before in many different ways and forms, including in this quest. You will upgrade different attributes that can affect you in the Duviri, Undercroft, and some affect you in your normal missions. These attributes can be upgraded similar to the Railjack, with intrinsics that you can earn in both the Duviri experience and the lone story. When you first load into any of these 3 modes, you'll have 5 random frames to pick from, including the Stalker, as well as 8 random weapons. However, you have to fully upgrade the opportunity rank in your drifter intrinsics. As you upgrade, you will see that there are ranks that have you add 2 weapon choices or an additional frame choice. You start off with 3 random frame choices and 4 random weapon choices. Thankfully, you will add 2 more choices for your weapons early on, since it doesn't cost a lot to get and is available at rank 2 for opportunity. Another thing you'll notice right away are decrees. Decrees are buffs that you can select for all 3 modes as well. As with the weapons and frames, you can add decrees or have them change by upgrading opportunity. You can gain an additional option, get a free decree when you first load in, a 50% chance to receive rare decrees, and finally the chance to discard the set of decrees for a new set, which can be done 3 times per mission. Those are the basics. However, there are also melee weapons for your drifter in the Duviri, which can also be built for your frame. As of now, there are 6 melee weapon options, each of them costing either 50 or 60 Pathos clamps, which I will briefly talk about soon. You can buy them with plat, but it definitely is not worth it. In no world should you buy these with platinum. Now, I would recommend you try and get all of these weapons, since it would be nice to have as options, as well as something to use for your frame and upgrade. With the 2 modes, the Duviri experience and lone story, you will earn 10 Pathos clamps when you complete them, in the normal star chart at least. Now, why is this so important? Why did I tell you how this works? Well, I just want to make sure you know how this works first of all. Any video I do, no matter what it is, I'm sure people don't understand how to get it or what to do. But the reason I'm even making this video is because of Incarnons, and some other things too. Now, what are Incarnons and how do you get them? First, there are a few basic Incarnons that you can get from the Chrysalith as you rank up and purchase with standing. We don't care about these ones in this video, however Chrysalith does play a part in this video. The circuit is how you can get Incarnon weapons, arcanes, augment mods, rivens, kuva, frames, and much more. So there's a lot with this. There are also other random items a part of the circuit as rewards, but if you can guess, we don't care all that much. With a normal star chart, you can pick a frame to get. Lots of the time, a frame that you can choose from can be difficult or annoying to get the normal way. There are 3 frames you can pick from every week. Once this is started, there are 10 tiers that you can go through, getting progress for these tiers as you play through the circuit. The circuit is essentially the Undercroft that has random modes that you cycle through. These modes being Void Flood, Defense, Survival, Exterminate, Assassination, Alchemy, and Excavation. The enemies will rank up as you progress, just like any mission that has waves to go through. The way you get Rivens, Kuva, and Incarnons are through the Steel Path circuit. This is where you can choose from a list of Incarnons, Rivens, and a choice of 20,000 Kuva. You pick 2 from this list, so 2 Incarnons, an Incarnon and a Riven, Riven and Kuva, 2 Rivens, Kuva and Incarnon, and so on. You can get mods and augment mods as extra rewards in the normal circuit, while you can get better arcanes, steel essence, resources from the Duviri, Kuva, and other items in the Steel Path version. Now right now as I'm making this video, the Torrid is one of the Incarnon options, and so far it feels like it has to be one of the best Incarnons out there. Incarnons make every weapon better, with free buffs from these evolutions, and these Incarnons having 4 evolutions. Of course, the Incarnon version is what normally carries any weapon you have it on. Now this is why Duviri Paradox is so important, Incarnon weapons. Plus, for newer-ish players, you can get frames easily by doing the normal circuit, where it would be difficult or take a long time if you farm for that frame the normal way, depending on what frame it is. Now before you leave, you should know this too. The reason I have mentioned the other two modes is because you need resources to add this Incarnon for that weapon. For example, my Incarnon Torrid needed 20 Pathos clamps, as well as 2 other resources that you can get in the Duviri. In order to specifically see any Incarnon you earn from the circuit that is not yet added onto the weapon, click the View Own Genesis Upgrades. I didn't mention it earlier, but the Incarnons that are for weapons you've crafted already, not ones that come with it like the offerings in the Chrysalith, are called Genesis Incarnons. So this is why the other modes are important. If you want to just get the Pathos clamps and possibly some of the resources for the Incarnon upgrade, like plants and crates, then just do the lone story. However, you may have to do the Duviri experience for resources. This is where I need to explain the differences between these two modes. The Duviri experience lets you free roam, completing challenges, getting the Enigma, and all this other stuff. This is where you can get items that are not possible to get in the lone story. For example, Maw Fangs. You can only get Maw Fangs and other resources by completing the Maw feeding activity. This can only be done in the Duviri experience, as it is a side challenge that you could do. This is when you're a Maw, basically a worm that can eat fish. And like I just said, you eat fish, which is the challenge. That's it. You can complete it in many different locations, with each one giving you a decree and intrinsics. But once you do it more than once at the same location, you'll just get the resources from the challenge. You won't get intrinsics or decrees anymore. So the Duviri experience is important, and you'll still get 10 Pathos clamps since you still have to finish the normal mission. This mission is the same as the lone story. The way that the lone story is different, if you couldn't tell from what I said already, is the fact that there are no side challenges. You can only complete the main mission. You still can get resources from crates and plants, but you can't do side missions for more decrees, intrinsics, and other resources, as well as completing Enigma puzzles. But that really isn't important unless you're farming for the Cinta bow. Now that is about all I need to discuss in this video when it comes to why it's so important. But yet again, there are a few things that you should know. If you have a prime version of a frame, that will be the frame that is chosen for your selection. That goes with weapons too. If you don't have that frame or weapon, then you will get that weapon with some mods added onto it already. They don't ever add nothing onto the weapons will still be good. This goes for your frames as well. Plus, once you get enough decrees, the weapons don't usually matter anymore since they can get carried by the decrees. But obviously the weapon that is normally better or upgraded for a good build will work the best. You can see the list of frames of weapons that are there for your next mission. So you can upgrade the weapon beforehand or frame, since you can't upgrade it when you're choosing them. However, you can swap from different configures if you have specific builds on those weapons or frames. Now that is about all I have for you in this video, so to wrap it up, let's go over it. The Duviri paradox is important, especially the circuit, because of Incarnons and Rivens. The other modes are important because you need the resources from them in order to evolve that weapon with the Incarnon you got. If you are confused or have any questions on how to complete things, or I just messed up and left something out or misspoke, let me know in the comments below. I hope you all found this video useful and you enjoyed my content. If you are a beginner and you're still watching, first off, thank you, but secondly, go watch some of my other videos. I mostly make content geared towards beginners, so please go watch those videos if you can, they could help you out. Now with all that said, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.